Today I'm going to be watching this video. It's called The Major Differences Living in Canada versus USA. I've watched some videos comparing different things about Canada and the USA before, so it'll be interesting to see someone's experience living in both of these countries and how it compares, how it differs. Let's see, let's watch, tell me what you think.
What's up, beautiful people? It is your homegirl Shameless, all up in the United States. And I'm Canadian. I'm half Canadian and half American. My mom is Filipino-Canadian. My dad's side of the family is American. My dad, he's now Canadian because he's been living in Canada for all this time. And alas, here I am. So I thought this video would be cool. I have a lot of Canadian and American viewers, so why not? Now, this is a YouTube video that is simplified in 5 minutes. So what I'm gonna say is broad strokes, generalizations, stereotypes. This is not the case for everyone. This is to give you an overview of the major differences between Canada and the US. Now, the first one is the accent, the OUT sound, out. Americans pronounce it out. I'm gonna go out, I'm about that life. In Canada, it is out. I'm gonna go out. I'm about to go to the store. Can I get you anything? And they also do the sorry, I'm sorry, that sorry sound. Americans pronounce it sorry. I'm sorry. Shoot, calm down. I'm sorry. And the Canadians apologize a lot. That's like a dead giveaway you're Canadian. When I moved to New York, everyone knew I was Canadian because I kept apologizing, and the out sound. So because I was a voiceover actor, I worked really hard to get rid of that. Even though I got that right, people still were like, well, where are you from? What's your story? This photographer was like, oh, you're Canadian. That explains it. And I'm like, explains what? He's like, I thought you were rich. And I'm like, rich? In Canada, nobody would ever assume I come from money. It's only because I'm a woman of color living in New York without an accent that people are assuming I went to a private school or something. Interesting.
Yeah, tell me what you think about that. I've watched some videos about slang, about the accent in Canada. People have told me in the comments it can vary, of course, about between the different provinces in Canada, the different places, the different cities and so on. What do you think about it? Is it that common for you? And about the apologising all the time. Of course, that's something I've heard a lot about before. Has anybody ever actually said that to you? Have they ever said, are you Canadian because you apologise all the time? Has anybody ever said, like, you apologise more than normal, anything like that?
Standards of education between Canada and the US. Canada, it is higher. It is more affordable. So not only is it accessible to more people, the average tuition for Canadians is between $6,000 and $12,000. American tuition, I feel like 1 year of American tuition is the equivalent of 4 years Canadian. So here in the US, I find that education is limited to scholarships. If you can get a scholarship, that's great. If you can't, you gotta get that money. Canadians have more access to education, and because of that, there's a huge thing in Canada. It's called the brain drain. When Canadians graduate, a lot of the American companies hire them because they are smarter. They have a more global perspective. The other most noticeable thing I've noticed, noticeables, Canadians are more family-oriented, more like group, team. When I was in Canada, I really felt like this is awesome, like teamwork, yes, go, we support you, we love you. In the US, again, my experience, New York, LA, it's very hustle. Hustle, 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 get it, do it on your own, figure out a way. And I think that has a lot to do with the money. Americans, especially immigrants, will hustle for that dollar bill. In Canada, we have this thing called a loonie and a toonie, which is a $2 coin. Coins, like pocket change, as valuable as it is, does not carry the same mentality as a dollar bill. When it rains in New York, people run onto the streets to sell umbrellas. When it's hot in New York, people are selling water bottles. And you hand this over. the whole mentality with $1 bills versus a $1 coin is different, and it translates in so many ways.
Do you think that's fair? I know she says she's going to make like generalizations, but just because there's coins, I know there's coins in America as well, and there's also notes in Canada. But looking at the bigger picture, do you think like Americans do have more of a like hustler mentality? I just watched a video about work culture in Canada, and one of the big things about it was teamwork and working collaboratively. I like that sort of thing. I like it. I think both mentalities have their benefits and have their good points. But is it so distinct? I'm going to guess, but in Canada there's a lot of people who hustle and work hard and want to make a lot of money and want to better themselves in that way as well. Do you think it's fair to apply those sort of broad strokes to each country? What do you think about those stereotypes?
Other noticeable differences between Canada and the US? Healthcare. Healthcare in Canada is publicly owned by the government, the people. Here in the US, it is privately owned, meaning there is a non-for-profit, profit, and government owned. If you're sick in Canada and you're Canadian, it's costing the government. So it's in their best interest to keep you healthy and alive. In the US, there was actually a profit to be made on the sick, which is a conflict of interest and of major concern. So that is a noticeable difference. The average Canadian is healthier than the Americans. The food regulations are so strict in Canada versus the US. We weren't allowed to have Red Bull for the longest time. That was illegal in Canada. Trans fats and saturated fats were cut out a long time ago. I confused the two, but one of those. Drinking age limits in...
Yeah, again like that with regards to education, she mentioned earlier, healthcare seem like both big positives in Canada, which I think is well known to people in both of those countries as well. Like how stark do you think the difference is between both of those things and the quality in each of those countries?
Drinking age limits in Canada, 18, 19, depending on which province you're in. The US is 21. What else? There is so much more. I would love to hear all of those in the comment section. If you've lived in more countries than one, please comment and let me know which countries you've lived in. I think it's awesome to travel and explore the world outside of your own. I will ask some friends that are Canadian about the whole visa situation because I get a lot of those questions.
Okay, man, I think that's pretty good. Yeah, interesting. I've seen a lot of those things mentioned before, but yeah, I guess that's quite a concise way of discussing them. Tell me what you think about those differences. What other major differences are there between Canada and the USA? Tell me in the comments. What are the strongest similarities, do you think, between those two countries as well? Thanks.